All right, day two of Inspection Fuel here in Dallas. And dude, Jon Bolton is with us here. And this has been like a really fun week, man. First of all, like, you're one of my favorite people anytime we got a conference like this to get on the show because you've always got something good to say.
You're lying right out of the bat. You're lying already.
No, no, not even a little bit. No, not lying at all, man. Seriously, I mean, why would you have nothing to say if you, unless you wrote a book? I mean, you've had plenty to say. You've got pages and pages worth of stuff to say.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, I'm really, really, really stoked. Things have been going really well. This is the second book that I've written. The first one was many years ago, and the target audience anyway was investors, and it was 261 pages, and I did it all full color, which was a big mistake because it made it so expensive. The minimum price Amazon would allow me to sell it was $49.95 or something like that. It's a $50 book, and I know no one's going to spend that kind of money. I sold 2 copies, my sister and Troy Pappas. But it's okay. You know, I did it for me, and now I have this cool book and the pretty colors. I at the time thought color was going to be critical because I was talking about defective building stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the polybutylene is actually gray in the picture, right? The Zinsco had all the pretty colors. And so it made sense to me. I guess in retrospect, not so much, but I don't, it's done. I don't care. So
No, but I mean, but that was a learning experience for you.
yeah,
No, not many people can say that they're published. So you took a step, you put the work in for it, you did the research, and obviously, I mean, you're one of the experts in this field. So there's plenty to say there, and you never know when that's going to be picked up or what value somebody's going to take from that at some point down the road. There's still a place for it, and even with the digital sphere as it is now, I mean, maybe there's a place in the world for that copy to be running rampant as a digital book where color matters because you can see it all on your phone or your tablet.
and this is so true. What was one thing that we talked about several times yesterday was the implementation of AI. And I'm wondering this, how am I going to get this? I don't want my voice, but how am I going to get it into an audible form? And I just didn't know. Not sure. And then here we are talking about it. It's like one of those God things, right? You talk about it and it
Absolutely,
shows
yeah.
up. So now I've got some apps that I got to go look at, and then I'll be able to put the PDF in there and it'll produce the audio. Now I got to figure, okay, now what do I do? Okay, now how do you publish that? I don't know. Do you know? Do I go to?
As far as like going through like a digital book or something like that, like as a Kindle book,
Yeah. How do you
I'm
put that?
honestly not sure. Yeah, you're the one that's published, not
Somebody
me.
will
Yeah.
know.
Hey, look, if you're watching and you know what steps are needed to take your book and convert it to a digital, hey, let John know. How can they reach out to you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that very much. I'll give you my personal cell: 407-468-2463.
Eight six
Easy.
seven 5309. No, that's not it. Yeah. But no, seriously, like yeah, reach out if you know what steps he needs to take to be able to convert it. That'd be awesome, man. We got a good community. There's got to be some smart people here that know.
Yeah, because it would be neat to have it on Audible.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. So narrate your
Yeah.
own book or
No,
something like that.
you don't want my voice.
What are you talking about,
I
man?
don't like my voice. And you've heard this before, right? You hear yourself talking, you go, "That's not me."
Oh, I don't like that either. I mean, I have to edit my own voice. I'm the editor for the show, not even just the producer, or the guy in the front of the camera. So yeah, it's like when you have to listen to yourself, it's annoying as crap.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
I don't
is.
know why anybody else would want to listen, but I'm happy they do. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
exactly.
But anyway, well, that's awesome. Okay, so what was the motive for the new book now?
At my age, I've earned enough trophies. I don't need any more trophies, meaning certifications and licenses and that kind of stuff. I really don't. That doesn't mean as much to me as it used to in the past. You know what just in my heart of hearts, what means so much is when I get a trophy from somebody that has taken a class or read the book or whatever, had a conversation, and then they find something out in the field or they prevent something, maybe prevent somebody from getting hurt, find safety issues they didn't know before. Those are trophies that I'm still collecting. I love, love, love to help people. And it's been said before, you get better when you help others get better,
Yeah, that's huge, man.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just God, it makes me I feel warm all over talking about it.
So I mean, and, you know, we were having this kind of a conversation about this too, like having a sense of purpose and what drives you. But like that's a great one right there, you know, and one that always comes back around with a little return on that investment for yourself as well, you know.
Yeah, true. And I think back to my mentors. Several of them are deceased now, but yet I still think of them on a daily basis because they were so influential in my life and put me on the right direction and helped me be where I am now, really. And
Yeah.
so I still appreciate that, and I also believe that they're in heaven and they can hear me, and they're proud right now. So
Absolutely, dude. No, and they should be for sure, for sure. So, how? What is your biggest hope as far as like how this book is going to help other inspectors?
it's like it's a little bit choppy. I'll admit that, okay, because of the way it was written, but it's like a long conversation we're having now. So I kind of hop around from this idea to that idea. I try to make it a little bit smoother, but it is a little, just a tad choppy. The way I wrote this thing was I thought of something and I typed it up, and I didn't touch it for 2, 3, 4, 6 months, whatever it was. And I'd come back and type a little more. And here I am at the end of my career thinking, John, you got to get this damn thing out. You just got to get it done. And I was talking to Jared Talmadge. He works with one of our brands, and he says, you know what? I've got 9 books, or 9 or 11 books. He's written so many. I'm like, are you kidding me? What? He's just full of stuff. And I'm like, well, here's my problem. I'm kind of stuck here. I haven't done anything. The first one I did through Amazon, self-publishing myself, and I couldn't tell you how I did it. I don't know. I pulled it off somehow. When I went back to do it this time, it was tripping me up, and I was getting frustrated, and I just forget it. And so it sat there for months again. And I'm talking to Jared, and he goes, man, I can help you. I done. Where do I write the check? Who do I send it to? So he helped me get it done. Finally,
That's awesome, man.
It's only 108 pages, so it's not. It's
Easy read,
It's
yeah.
a quick read, easy
But if
read.
it's conversational, man, just grab a beer and read that thing straight through, you know?
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Gosh, I mean, like, how long do we have a conversation where we're sitting there, we're talking, and it's like before you know it, an hour's gone, you know?
Yeah.
So I love those kind of conversations, especially where it's something that you could take away from it that's going to help you with your business or help you just even as a person. No, I love it, man. It sounds like it's something that it's not something that's going to be laborious for somebody to or to feel intimidated, you know, where they pick it up. It's like, you know, they can actually glean something from it because of the tone in which it was written and the point that it was trying to make. So
I'm going to use that.
there you go.
I
Yeah.
appreciate your description there. Also, I'll start using that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, okay. So with this conversational book, is this the last one you're going to write, or what's your idea next for kind of what you want to put out there to the inspection community?
Isn't that funny? It's kind of like when you grow up, you have a girlfriend, and then everybody asks when you're going to get married. Then you get married, and when you're going to have kids. So I write this second book, and everybody's saying, well, what's the third book going to be? Like, okay. But I actually have thought about that. Believe it or not.
Okay. And where are you at? Unless are you not? Are these like cards you're not ready to tip just
No,
yet?
no.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually kind of excited about it, and I'm going to rewrite the first one and update it.
Perfect.
So it'll be air quotes easy because a lot of the work is done, but that book didn't have anything about PEX in it, and now we know PEX is a known defective product.
Once again, a flexible piece of plumbing just doesn't work very well. So, okay, so catch me up on this because this is something that, again, is news to me. I spent the last, gosh, I mean, I was active in the field for 8 of the last 10 years, and I still have an active license, but I'm not inspecting, 400 plus homes a year the way that I used to.
Right.
But, previously, gosh, this was just even as soon as 2, 3 years ago. When I saw PEX in a house, I was telling buyers that this was a good product. Like, look at this. This is polybutylene without the problems. And now we're hearing that there are, in fact, problems. I guess we shouldn't be shocked. But right. Where is this failing where polybutylene didn't? Or, I mean, polybutylene obviously had plenty of issues. But what are the issues now with this one that they thought it was going to avoid?
The funny thing is we call it the new poly. When poly was new, we said the same thing. Oh, it's the next best. It's the greatest. It's flexible, and it takes so much time to braze copper, and this is so faster, and you crimp and you move and you bend and all that kind of stuff. Well, look what happened to poly.
Right.
I remember having these conversations being a younger man out in the field, and before poly was really big, and you'd get pushback. Well, you don't know what you're talking about. It's been there for 20, 30, 40 years, John. You're not a plumber. You don't know what you're talking about. You had that fight. And today, it's not a question. In Florida,
Right. Yeah, we all know. Yeah.
yeah, in Florida, insurance is a huge deal. Like, we can go on and on and on about insurance. I got some great.
It's an entirely different episode. Yeah, because we both live down in Florida. You're over in the Orlando area. I'm in the Tampa market.
Right.
And yeah, it's a nightmare right now after 2 hurricanes. So.
I've got some great stories, and that maybe we could talk tonight about it. But we had those same conversations, and now today, if you're on an inspection in Florida and you find poly, you just tell them good luck getting insurance, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That's what it's turned into.
Especially with the sulfuric water that we have down there. It's so corrosive, yeah.
Yeah, oh, exactly. I think PEX will be the exact same thing. I don't see how it cannot be, okay? Because nothing gets better with time. Things only get worse with time. Right?
Now, is it the chemical makeup of the PEX that is still failing when it's exposed to the chemicals in the water the same way that polybutylene did? Or
yeah, polybutylene is a polyolefin-based plastic.
Right.
Guess what else is a polyolefin-based plastic?
I would guess PEX.
Ding, ding, ding.
Man.
You got it.
So, hey, it'll bend, but it still breaks. I guess it's kind of like the gist of it here.
That's one of the failure points, is you get plumbers out there and they flex it back and forth, go, look at this, look how awesome this is. Well, you're causing stress to that plastic and you're causing failures.
Right.
That's just one of them. But
so I guess what's the next step then? I mean, are we going once again back to CPVC and PVC, or back to copper? Like, because even with Florida, I mean, when we're doing a 4-point, the insurance company wants to know how much of the house has been repiped, because even copper would be corrosive, and obviously we know galvanized steel was not the best choice either. But so what's the ultimate solution? Just back to CPVC and PVC, or?
Well, we're not going to go back to copper because it's labor intensive.
Right.
I would venture to guess a lot of newer plumbers may not even know how to braze copper.
Right.
I'm not trying to degrade plumbers. Licensed plumbers are smart guys and gals. But things have just changed. They've been using plastics for so long, right? There's a long list of issues, and I can't see it getting better. If we can't use copper, then like if you went to Schedule L copper, something thicker, that might make sense. But again, it's going to be labor intensive. So the next best thing is what? CPVC. Now, as soon as I say that, people are going to start losing their minds. Oh, well, CPVC becomes brittle. Yeah, it does. But by the time that happens, we'll be dead.
Long gone. Yeah, yeah.
We'll be gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how many houses have we inspected that are 30, 40 years old, and the CPVC is still holding up. So,
yeah, well, I'll tell you, firsthand conversation with my personal plumber, we talk about these things, obviously, right? This is what we do. I said, what's your personal experience with CPVC as becoming brittle and stuff? He says, yes, it will become brittle. Okay. He says, in his experience, his hands-on, that if you leave it alone, don't mess with it, it continues to perform. It's when you modify it, like you want to add a water line for an ice maker, or you're adding a water filter thingy at the sink. When you start doing that, cutting into it becomes brittle and becomes an issue.
Gotcha. So just don't change your house.
Just leave it. Yeah.
Just leave it as it is. There you go.
Wow, like do nothing is a plan.
I like the idea of do nothing.
Yeah,
Generally, I'm a big
works.
fan of this. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, well, that makes sense. I mean, but, even then, I mean, I feel like a lot of times when people end up modifying their homes or renovating their homes, houses seem to go through a 10 to 15 year cycle, right, of usefulness. So like one family will sell at a certain point because they don't want to be doing the renovations or the upkeep that's needed, that's coming up. So they'll sell to the next person, especially in a seller's market. It's like, hey, the house is now as is, and we're still getting full price. Now, Florida is not necessarily the seller's market that it used to be, but up in DC, it was like that for so long. So they'll sell off at a certain period of time. So if you're still buying at that 10 to 15 year mark, I'm guessing the CPVC is still going to be just fine if you do want to make any modifications at that point.
It should be. That's what I get from my plumber. One funny thing, and we were just talking about this in class. I'm telling everybody because we were talking about PEX, right? I said, listen, I know what every one of you is going to do. You're going to go home, or you're probably on your phone right now asking your plumber what they think about PEX. And I will tell you right now what they think. I went and hung out on a couple different plumber forums to find out what they were saying. I'm trolling a little bit. I'm not saying anything. I'm just reading, seeing what's happening. And you know what? 50% of the plumbers said it's great, it's awesome, we love it. The other 50% said, no, it sucks. I'm doing all these replumbs. I've seen all these failures, the pinholes, blah, 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 all this stuff. So I said, when you guys contact your plumber, you'll get one or the other. And feel free. I want you to do your own research. Don't ever take somebody's word for something if they don't offer an authoritative source.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Yep.
So
this is why I cite Jon Bolton on so many things.
oh God, don't do that. You're in trouble now. You're totally in trouble. But that was a huge mistake I made when I was a young man. I'd go learn something technical and go out in the field and report on it and then get schooled by somebody that actually knew what they were doing. I said, that's incorrect. Like, oh my God. Okay, so now if I learn something and they don't give me the ASTM or the building code section or the manufacturer's sticker, that I don't get that, well, I can't take that to heart without going and researching it. I want to read it myself so that I know that I know. And that's why I personally like quoting code. And I just blew
Oh
some
my
people's
gosh,
minds.
everybody is so many comments right now are just about to be like, why you're
Oh,
not
no.
allowed to do that? You shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, yeah.
Don't break your phone. It's not
Calm
that
down,
important.
put the keyboard down. Some of y'all are these keyboard warriors. I tell you, if you were busier focusing on building up your book of business, you wouldn't have time to be commenting like this, but that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, I like quoting it because it takes the argument out. It's no longer John's opinion. ASTM said it. Argue with that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
That's the
exactly. Yeah.
authoritative
Code is the
source.
code. Yeah.
So,
So,
anyway, that was a small tangent. Sorry.
minorly small tangent. Yeah. But it makes sense what you're saying. And so, okay. So really then the gist of the message that you're putting out there is one, continuing to educate home inspectors, continuing to help them with their business. But you're going to rewrite the new book for the modern age, which is fantastic. So it's completely updated. Now, how does how does your current book feed into or continue that conversation?
It's a long conversation and things that I wish I would have realized or somebody would have told me when I was younger. I think a lot of current mindset is just different than it used to be. I concentrated on earning certifications and licenses and stuff like that. And I think nowadays, look around. Everything is based on minimum standards. And this is what people generally perform to. I don't see a whole lot of stuff saying, no, excel, go above and beyond. That's the way I was raised. Okay, my dad was a workaholic and I thought it was normal. And then you hear somebody complain that they had to do 45 hours that week. And I'm like, I had that by Wednesday. Well, it didn't make any sense to me. So I think things are just different. And we talk a lot about that because, matter of fact, Socrates said you're gonna have to edit this part a little bit. I gotta think.
He forgot what Socrates said. Yeah, yeah.
Socrates said something like this. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. That the discovery of ignorance is the beginning of wisdom.
We know that about so much in life.
Oh my God!
Just firsthand. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So I harp on that a lot.
What are three huge things that you mentioned in the book that you wish you knew that you now know?
Go above and beyond. Don't buy cheap tools. Don't confine yourself. When you confine yourself, you define yourself. So if you confine yourself to cheap tools, free and cheap education only, this is what you're going to define yourself as. Go above and beyond. Go to some of these builders shows and conferences, things like that, and get information outside of the home inspection industry. There's a lot of stuff out there. Manufacturers have free education. All of them do because they want you to know about their product. They want you to be educated. They want you to tell people about their product. That's free. So I go a lot into go above and beyond. Don't sit there. It's a good graphical representation, and you'll like this. I got to show you the chart. It's a Dunning-Kroger. If I probably hack that Dunning-Kroger chart, and it talks about. I modified it just a little bit. Okay, my own personal.
This is now the Jon Bolton chart. Yeah, that's
my
it.
own
Yeah.
personal paraphrase. Somebody starts out and they are a keyboard warrior. They're a Facebook rock star and they're saying stuff. And then they read a book or take a class and then they go, oh my God, I didn't realize, I didn't know that, or I didn't know I was saying something wrong. I just didn't realize it. And they get some more education and then they start becoming humbled. You're going, oh man, I should not have done this, said that. I should have taken more. I should have bought more. I should have whatever. And that's when you start really getting worthy.
That's good, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, when you know that you know because you're familiar with the code book, now you become valuable. I think the more you know, the more value you bring.
Sure.
That's what's so, God, you get me all fired up here.
Yeah, go, man. Sound off.
No,
Yeah.
that's what's so important. You got to bring value, real value. If you can't differentiate yourself from every other home inspector, you are every other home inspector.
So there's your 2 points. So go above and beyond, bring value, and then what else?
Yeah, don't buy cheap stuff.
Yeah, you said that one. Yeah, yeah.
My God, we had I love the calls. Hey, we have a problem. Can you help? Love these things, right? So they had an inspection. The inspector found some wet areas and they didn't know what to do. So the broker called and says, John, obviously it wasn't us. It says, man, we need some help. This inspector has raised this flag and now we literally don't know what to do, where to go. We don't know where this water source is coming from. All right, no problem. Well, guess what? We have an SOP. We have a way of doing things, and it starts with the driveway speech. What are you experiencing? How long have you been experiencing it? When did you first notice it? Do you see it in the evening? Do you see it when the weather changes? Just, this list of questions. And often you can solve the problem right there, right? They identify it. So Ron, our inspector, goes through this, and then the next step is pull out the infrared. And we don't have cheap infrared cameras. Okay, I've got an E95 that's 10 grand.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I've had an E6 that was like 1,500. So yeah.
But there's a huge difference in quality of tools. Oh, okay. Easy example. You can go buy a Black & Decker circular saw and it'll cut the wood. All right.
Sure, yeah.
When you buy that Makita, oh man, that is sweet like butter.
I'm a rigid
Right?
guy myself.
Okay, rigid.
Yeah, because they got a great warranty.
Same
man.
difference.
Yeah, so does Porch. Check out ISG, today's sponsor. Yeah.
That was good.
Hey, not a bad plug. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So don't buy cheap tools. Yeah.
Yeah. So and this is why this story is important. He's going through the SOP, doing his investigation, and he pulls out his moisture meter. He's moisture mapping now, right? They had the same issue in 2 different rooms, and they were spots that they were getting high moisture levels in. And he pulls his moisture meter out and he's moisture mapping and finding out after he's going a lot of other SOPs, right? And he figured it out. In the one room, they had pulled out the wood floors. Okay, like they've spent money and they're very, very frustrated. Pulled out wood floors, they're getting ready to pull that out, but and now they don't know. Should we or not? Because we can't find anything. It's slab on grade, but it's just...
Where's the moisture coming from?
Where's the moisture coming from, right? Well, here's the funny part. He pulls out his moisture meter, and again, we don't buy cheap stuff. It's a $500 moisture meter, which that's not a ton of money, but it's a good one. It's not $45 from Harbor Freight.
Right. Yeah.
No offense, Harbor Freight. The seller actually says, wait a minute, let me see your moisture meter. What kind is that? And right then and there, she pulled it up and she goes, oh, wow, this is good equipment. And he's like, well, yeah, of course. That's what we do. And that's our reputation. And she said the knucklehead that was there before had a $45 thing from not Harbor Freight, from somewhere else. And all of a sudden his credibility was just shot. He left them with a problem and no solution whatsoever. He was using cheap stuff. Ron goes out there and he follows an SOP. He uses good tools and just follow this process and voila, he got it. He figured it out. It's really not that hard when you follow a process. It's not that hard to
go above and beyond, use great stuff and offer value. Yeah.
Amen. Offer value.
There's your 3 points right there, man. That was easy.
Bam.
No, honestly, it truly, and I've seen this in my own experience as well. When I was working previously with BPG, the head of our area there, he had that same principle. Look, he's like, this stuff is expensive, but the thing is, it's going to help you do a much better job. And it truly did. And I still use this stuff to this day. It's not hard to just do a good job.
Yeah. Well, who says it's so famously better ingredients, better pizza?
Dominant. No, no, that wasn't it. Yeah.
Papa John.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Papa
Papa
John.
John,
Yeah.
right? Everybody remembers that. Why should it be any difference for you and I?
Exactly. Yeah.
Better tools, better results.
And better communication. Come to conferences, learn how to communicate, up your up your field presentation, your driveway presentation. Just your value is not just in what you are, what you know and what you find. It's in how you convey that information then to the buyer, both in how you write the report, and how you present the report, how you present the information on site.
Amen. That makes
We're
for the total
communicators,
package.
right? We're not just inspectors; we're communicators. Yeah,
If you want to be seen as a professional, you better act like one.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is why we've got Jon Bolton on the show, because he is a true professional. Yeah. So, and a published one of that, man.
Woohoo.
So, yeah. So are you doing another presentation here at Fuel this week, or?
I have finally finished. Yesterday we did building science, and today we did PEX, and I blew some people's minds because they're just not educated. They don't know, and it's a good ignorance. It's just that it hasn't gotten to that level yet. So we opened some minds, and people are like, "Oh my God, I didn't know this. I didn't know that." And again, the awareness of ignorance is the beginning of wisdom. So now they've got some information they can create for their own companies that works the best for them, however they want to do that, come up with their own canned statements, right? I try and help a little bit, but I don't care if you don't like the way I say something. You're not going to offend me. I want you to be comfortable with how you are presenting it. I want Brad to feel confident. I want you to have the psychological safety, and I want you to go out there and be professional. And then shoot me an email. I'll go, dude, check out what I did.
No, I love it. And so, honestly, I've always kind of taken this tack when it comes to writing my own reports. I understand, like, we use a lot of shorthand as home inspectors. I hate that so much. For me, let's put some proper sentences in there. Let's properly write this out so that it's legible, readable, and it's again well communicated.
I have not heard that term, and I don't know how many decades.
Which one?
Shorthand?
Shorthand, yeah.
Did you ever have that class when you were young?
What? How to write in shorthand?
Shorthand, yeah. There was a way to do it.
Yeah. I
didn't think you were that
every
old.
industry has their own shorthand. See licensed inspector for further evaluation. I'm like, no, put that in a full sentence. Okay. We recommend that you contact a licensed electrician for further evaluation on your problematic panel.
Bam.
Yeah.
Wordsmithing.
It's not that hard to do.
It's not.
Yeah. And then you save that comment in your comment library, So,
oh my gosh, right? Today, there's no excuse. It's all
No.
software.
yeah.
You can take an hour to come up with a statement that you're going to use over and over and over and over again. Back in the day, when we had to chisel, or no, I'm kidding.
You were that long ago? Yeah. The reports were all on stone.
Yeah, the tablets were heavy, and it was retrieving information was tough.
Yeah.
We had the Dewey Decimal System, and we had to work for our information.
Right. All of the plumbing was Roman. What did they, aqueducts and stuff?
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. There you go.
That's amazing, by the way. We've been to Pompeii, and those pipes are still there.
Are they really?
You're like, oh my God, yeah, they're running down the street.
Hey, it has survived a volcano. Say that for PEX, right?
Oh, wow. I got your pecs and raise you some lead.
Even better. Yeah. It helps the immune system a little bit. We were more robust back then when we had toxins in our bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before helmets came along. And
Yeah. Totally fine.
who needs a seatbelt?
Don't need it at all. You watch Star Trek, right? That's they're so far in the future, and anytime the ship gets shot, they're just all falling all over the deck. They don't have seatbelts. Why do we need them? Yeah.
Golly, you are just
that advanced, and they would have had seatbelts on the deck of the Enterprise. Nope.
amazing. I've never thought of that. You
You
are.
could beam me up, Scotty, but don't you strap me down. No, sir. It's
That's hilarious.
yeah, man.
That's
Well,
funny.
dude, John, thanks so much for joining. Where can they find your book? And what's the name of it again? The name of the book, one more time for the viewers.
How to be a home inspector badass.
How to be we have to censor that. How to be a home inspector bad bleep. No. I love it, man. That's awesome. And they can get it on Amazon now too?
Amazon. And you know what is amazing? Yesterday, my wife asked me, she goes, how do you know how many you've sold? I'm like, I don't know. I really don't care. That's not the whole point or purpose. I'm not going to make a living off of selling $20 books, but I said, I don't know. It's probably on Amazon somewhere. She looks it up and sent me the screenshot. It shows this book falls in real estate category, broad category. And it says of just shy of 21,000 real estate related books, this one was number 31.
Well, congrats on the top 30 almost.
Shocker.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
Shocker. Absolutely shocker.
Fantastic. So go out there, buy the book.
I
Let's get
appreciate
this
you.
thing in the top 20. Seriously, yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, shoot, top 20. Let's get in the top 15.
Man, leave a
Five
review
stars.
if you don't mind. Appreciate
That'd be
that.
awesome too. So fantastic. Well, Jon, thanks so much, man. Looking forward
Dude,
to hanging
thank
out with you
you.
later on tonight here, the final day of
Absolutely.
Fuel. You guys hang in there, and we'll see you next time right here on the Ride Along.